All right, guys. So in this lesson, we are going to add a script to our brand new key. And this will allow us to detect whenever the player presses a key. But first, let's try multiple resolutions right here in the resolutions menu in the simulator to check if our keyboard adapts to the other resolutions. So let's select iPhone 6s, iPhone X, nice, yeah, perfect. All right, seems good, cool, yeah, it seems pretty much what we want. So yeah, maybe we can increase the width a bit, like so. Okay, because I feel it's a bit too low. Yeah, like here for the iPad, the keyboard is a bit too low. You see what I mean? Like here it's okay, but on the iPad, we won't have the space to put the submit button or the hint buttons. So we want to fix that. Okay, to fix that, what we are going to do is select the keyboard container, all right? And in the stretch options, we rather want to stretch along the bottom of the screen, okay? So let's maybe bring it a bit lower, like so that we have the space for our button, the submit button, the banner ad if you want to add a banner ad, and the hints buttons. And now it should scale properly even for the iPad. All right, perfect. And for the other phones too, let's try some resolutions. Nice. Yeah, it's cool. All right, let's go back to iPhone 12 Pro Max. Awesome. All right, let's now create our script. So open the Word Finder folder, all right, and let's create a new folder that will hold all of our scripts. So folder, let's call it scripts. Perfect. Let's open it and create a new C# script, like so. Okay, so let's call it KeyboardKey. Okay, hit enter. Nice, let's now open it. Okay, perfect. Here we are. First off, we want to detect whenever we press the key button. So for that, we are going to use the Unity library, which is the Unity Engine.UI library. This library holds a bunch of data and components, including the button component that we want to access. Because basically, we are going to access the button component of the keyboard key. And whenever we click on it, we want to do an action, to do something actually. So we're just going to call a method for now, just for testing purposes. Perfect. So we know that our key has a button component, because if you go back to Unity right here and select a key, okay, let's select this one for instance. If you go down in the inspector, you can see that it has a button component attached to it. So we are going to access the onClick event and add a method to that event, which will be called whenever we click on the button. Perfect. Let's go back to our script right here. So to access the button component of the key, we are simply going to call getComponent, like so, and we are going to get the button component. Perfect. Now that we have our button component, we are going to access the onClick event. And you can see that it's a button clicked event. Okay, onClick. To that onClick event, we want to add a listener. What will be our listener? It's basically a method that will be called whenever we press the button. So for that, we want to call the test method. Okay, so let's now create that test method because it doesn't exist yet. For that, let's create a new private void method, which will be our test method. Perfect. Okay, what do we want to write? Let's for now just debug.log test. Okay, perfect. So now whenever we are going to press a key in the console, a test string will be written. So before that, let's open the prefabs folder, select our key, and attach our brand new script, which is KeyboardKey. Otherwise, it won't work. Okay, let's now hit play. Let's go to the console. Let's press any key, so maybe Q, test, perfect. T, again, G, J, K, M, nice. But now instead of writing test in the debug in the console, let's add the letter that the button contains. Okay? Okay, let's do that. Let's go back to our script for that. And we are gonna add a new library again. This one is the TM Pro library. It's the Text Mesh Pro library, which will allow us to access the Text Mesh Pro component added to our key. Okay, so let's create a new header to hold all of our elements. Header is basically just a label that you can use to organize your variables and references in the inspector. So let's serialize our variable to show it in the inspector, even though it's private in the class. Okay, so it's going to be a private Text Mesh Pro UGUI because it's used in the UI, user interface, and it's just the letter text. Perfect. Let's now go back to Unity. Let's select our key prefab, go down in the inspector, and now we need to drag and drop a Text Mesh Pro UGUI. So let's open it. And we can drag our letter text in this field. Perfect. Now we have a reference to our letter. So we can do whatever we want with it. We can change it. We can resize it. We can change the font, etc. By the way, let's rename it to letter text. Yeah, it's better like that. Okay, perfect. Let's go back to our script now. And in the test method, instead of writing test, let's write the letter text.text. Okay? So it will basically write the letter of our key. Let's test that. Hit play. Open the console and let's try and press a key. So the U key, for instance. Awesome. You can see that in the inspector, it's written U now. F, J, G, B, N, M, etc. Awesome. Okay, so right now, the test method is called inside of the KeyboardKey class, but we will want to use it outside of it. So in the next session, let's see how we can do that using events. See you there.